What's up guys? In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make your melody sound fuller and wider in the mix. So last week I dropped a tutorial and I told you guys to drop a comment on the kind of video you want to see next. And somebody dropped a comment and said he wants to know how to make his melody sound wider and fuller in the mix. So first of all, I think one thing you should focus on is sound selection. Choosing the right sounds is always going to be essential in getting your melody to sound wider and fuller in the mix. So try and use high quality sounds. Let me quickly find some chords and use it to cook up a bit. So now I have a nice chord progression. Let me try and change the sound. So like I said, you always want to pick up nice sounds. You don't want to use sounds that are low quality sounds. Like this plugin, Addictive Keys, it's a very, very nice VST. It has a lot of high quality piano sounds inside. And one thing too you also want to note is if you look at the chords that I have here, they're in different ranges. The lowest note here is on D sharp 4, that's a D4, and the highest notes is on A sharp, let's just say A6. So you can see the range. You always want to spread out your melodies. You don't want it to be in one particular range. Spread out so that it sounds wider and fuller. So this is how the melody is actually supposed to sound. And the other is bass notes. They double the bass notes, so you see it sounds fuller already. Then another thing you can do is adding reverb and delay to it. I think this melody already has some delay and reverb to it. So sound selection is basically 80 or 70% of your mixing. Mixing starts from your sound selection, not when you take it to your mixer and start adding effects. Now, mixing actually starts from when you start picking your first sound, because the next sound you're going to pick, you don't want to pick any sound that doesn't complement this first sound that you've picked. That's basically what sound selection is. Sound selection is just picking sounds that complement each other and that go well together. So the next sound I'm going to add here, I'm not going to add the sound that doesn't complement this. So I'm not going to add the sound that is clashing in frequencies. So I can take it to the mixer. What I do most of the time is I cut out all the lows, then maybe about anywhere from 50 to 100 hertz, and I add an EQ. Most of the time, guys, like this is a trick. It's always good to cut out about 300 hertz from all your melodies. 300 is under low mid. So when you cut out the low mid, you are giving enough space for your bass line and your kicks. So without it, see how it sounds. It's a very subtle difference, but in the mix, it bangs. Then the next thing is saturation. You can make your melody sound wider by adding saturation to it. On 5 meter Saturn is very, very nice. It adds harmonics to your melodies. Be careful with it. You don't want to like go so crazy with it, because if you go very crazy with it, it's gonna it's gonna sound distorted, and that's not what we want. And then another thing I also do is I add reverb and delay. And I can add reverb to it. And mind you, there are different types of reverbs. But I'm not going to go into that. That's going to be a very long video. But for now, just know that if you add reverb, you add some kind of space to your melodies. So you can mess around the decay time. Another reverb I like to use is Valhalla Room Reverb or Valhalla Vintage Verb. One of the two. So without the reverb and the delay. So like I said, the melody already has like some kind of delay and reverb to it already. So you might not hear it that well. Let me try pick a dry sound. Now the delay and reverb. Okay, let me add some drums and I'll come back again and show you how it sounds in the mix. So I'll use my steel kits. If you guys don't have my steel kits, link is in the description. You just duplicate this. So already, like I said, sound selection is a very, very big thing. With this melody, it doesn't really sound so nice with the drums. You always want to use something that actually fits drums. So I'm thinking more of like an e-piano sound. It's soft sound because the drums are already kind of hard hitting. You don't want to use hard melodies with hard drums. You always want to pick like soft melodies with hard drums, or I mean, it depends. Like it's very, very subjective. You just have to be creative with it. But try and find a balance. I'm going to leave a link in the description to understand contrast and context of picking sounds. So just check the description. I'll leave a playlist. Go watch the video. So now I'm going to try and find a very soft sound that's going to match with the drums. So you see, this sound sounds really good enough because it fits so well with the drums. Now I can now decide to do more stuff with the mixing. Without the reverb, it sounds like this. It sounds dry, I'm sure. So you see, the delay and the reverb adds more room to it. So another thing you can do is you can increase the separation knob to make it sound wider. You can use the wider VST too. There's a plugin called wider. You just add more width. Because remember, when an artist wants to sing to it, most of the time the vocals are always going to be in mono. So you don't want all the melodies, all the drums to be in mono. So you want to like give the artist enough space. So you can use this wider to add some space. Without it, with it. Then another thing you can add is RC20. A lot of presets inside that you can pick from. So you can see basically this deflection is just distortion and space and wobble. So distortion is the same thing as saturation, and space is more like reverb. And you can also add other effects like chorus, flanger, phaser, and those ones they come in FL Studio. But you don't always want to go crazy with all these effects because it can be very distracting in the mix. And I'd rather not spend so much time adding a lot of effects when I can just find better sound. So like I said, sound selection is very important. Pick the right sounds. Don't go and pick weak sounds and start adding effects to make it sound wider. Yes, there are other creative effects you can use, but most of the time it's going to start off with selecting the right sounds. So the biggest thing you should take away from this video is pick the right sounds, guys.